How's it going, everybody? Sandwich Pants here today, and I wanted to go over uh, this article right here. Some more local. No! I'm going over this article here, which is some Oklahoma stuff. Now close the. Okay, so if you close the ad, it just takes you. Really? I close that ad at least. Oh, the story is. Okay, that makes so much more sense. Okay. OKC's Convergence Innovation District development to get $13.75 million in assistance. Developers of Convergence, a $178 million mixed-use anchor for the Innovation District, are set to move forward with a $13.75 million in with 13.75 million in tax increment financing, a TIF, and are hoping to win a $10 million MAPS 4 matching grant for construction of a community innovation hall. Convergence is being developed by Mark Beffert and Richard Tannenbaum, with offices and lab spaces for Wheeler Bio, a biomanufacturing company. It will also have offices for other innovation companies, restaurants, bars, shops, and a 107-room hotel, which is actually not that big, really. I mean, it's for decent size. No, it's actually fairly big, thinking about it. So those are buses, and like this is the hotel or whatever, or this is the hotel. Yeah, that's actually fairly large. So wait, where's OKC's? Yeah, this here in OKC. Hmm. Kathy O'Connor, director of the Oklahoma City Redevelopment Authority, said the trust has money to provide the 13.75 million upfront to ensure Beffert and Tannenbaum's BT development qualifies for 33 million in new markets tax credits. So, yeah. The TIF is expected to be paid back through rising property taxes on the property with a minimum annual $1,655,559 tax payment required from BT development starting in 2025. O'Connor told the Redevelopment Authority this week she expects the development to generate 28 million. So, you expect the new development to generate 28 million, but it qualifies for $33 million in tax breaks. So correct me if I'm wrong, but is that not a $5 million loss for the state? Hmm. The project generates enough revenues to support this project and other goals. I'm not sure that's how that works. It is a large commercial investment, the largest we've had to date in the Innovation District. Oh, and not only that, we're also giving them $13 million. Almost 40. It is a large commercial investment, the largest we've had to date in the Innovation District. It will help jumpstart the whole research development ecosystem in Oklahoma City. So that's what all this has been. The beacon of hope, yeah. Unlike other TIFs, Unlike other TIF districts, the Innovation District TIF gets final approval from the Redevelopment Authority. God, I keep thinking my phone is ringing. Since announcing plans for convergence 1 year ago, Beffert and Tannenbaum have obtained permission from the city to close Stiles Circle as a part of a plan to expand Stiles Park, which currently consists of the Beacon of Hope and surrounding plaza. The park is the city's oldest, which, yeah. We're going to rebirth Oklahoma City's first park. Plans include adding a landscaped area between the Oklahoma Department of Commerce and the proposed Innovation Hall site, and to add an outdoor amphitheater between the Wheeler Bio Building and the Ham Institute for American Energy, previously known as OSU Discovery. Okay. Okay. Beverett said the project is on schedule for construction to start in April with an opening in 2024. Items still to be addressed include a zoning request to allow a large outdoor digital screen. Talks are underway to create a landscaped area and signage wall along 10th Street and Harrison Avenue exit loop from I-235. Okay. I actually use this exit quite frequently. The loop landscaping, Styles Park, and other public areas would all be maintained by BT Development, which I'm not. No. Okay. If we were going to spend $178 million, we want to make sure the landscaping looks good, Beverett said. The Oklahoma City Council, meanwhile, will vote on the MAPS 4 matching grant for the Innovation Hall following a review and recommendation by the MAPS 4 Citizens Advisory Board. So if that goes through, then they will get another $13 million, almost $14 million. That'll be $28 million, which would be the offset for the development generating $28 million. And then there's $33 million in new markets tax credits. So we're just leaving out so much. Okay. Designed by FSB call for the innovation. Designs by FSB call for the Innovation Hall, if the grant is approved, to be built above underground parking. Building permits were submitted for the development, though the Innovation Hall designs are only conceptual. Okay. We haven't designed the hall, that's not for me to do, Beverett said. We're hoping the city will build the Innovation Hall and we will donate the site. What? Really? Hey guys, we want to build this big ass innovation hall on this area. Can you give us grants and shit to do it? And can you match it with the MAPS 4 grants? And like, can we do that? And then get like a bunch of tips and shit? Oh, design it? No, that's not for us to do. We want you to build it and design it. We're just going to give you the property, which you have to sell to us for us to give back to you. For Okay. O'Connor said the Innovation Hall is needed for more companies to locate and grow and spur more private investment in the area. I'm not entirely sure that that's true. The MAPS 4 Innovation Hall is inspired by Cortex in St. Louis and District Hall in Boston. Okay. When first pitched as part of MAPS 4, the plan was for the hall to be a center that can host activities ranging from coding training for all ages and other learning academies, versatile space for meetings and events related to innovation and entrepreneurship, and pop-up spaces for entrepreneurs to showcase new ideas and build connections. The proposal predated Beverett and Tannenbaum's development effort and was seen as part of a first phase to create a denser, mixed-use development for the district that is to be centered around Styles Circle and the Beacon of Hope, located between the Oklahoma Department of Commerce, the OU Research Park, and the Ham Institute for American Energy. I don't intrinsically have a problem with I like the fact that it's a mixed development, which means that people are going to be able to be living near this area, and as long as there's like accessible groceries and shit like that and things to do at the same time, then I think this will work out really well for them. Mayor David Holt said the idea of creating a match instead of fully funding the innovation was the result of a political compromise. There was a lack of enthusiasm among some members of the council for this project, so the idea of a match was to meet people where they were. Having said that, I love how it's turned out. It has exceeded our hopes and dreams for that particular idea. Okay. I kind of want to know who had some doubts on this, because I would like to talk to them about their doubts and see what their concerns and stuff may be. That would be probably the best way to go about it. O'Connor said the match, if granted, will be a good 10 million well spent. Oh, you mean the 13 million we're giving them, and then the potential 14 million pretty much, and then the other potential 14 million that they would get. That's 10 million. Is that why the budgets are so fucked? She said the proposal calls for the city's 10 million to pay for construction of the Innovation Hall and infrastructure, while BT Development will allocate parking spaces for the Innovation Hall, provide the land and other public amenities that will add up to 10 million. This is a partnership between the city, the developer, and the Oklahoma City Redevelopment Authority to implement the Innovation Hall. Part of the agreement is that Bedford will maintain the hall, and in terms of operating the physical facility, there will be an operator selected by the city. I think that this is a remarkable first step for the project and the Innovation District. Need this. Boom. Okay. Now, I've read the entire thing. I've given very little commentary while reading it, and there's a reason for that. So, we're just gonna do this. Oh, yeah. From what I'm aware of, living in the state of Oklahoma, we don't really have like a major brain drain problem the way that other states do, like Nebraska. So bringing in larger like developments and stuff to encourage businesses to relocate here, like making a development to encourage businesses to come here, I'm not entirely sure it's the best use of our finances as a state. There's other things we could be doing. The MAPS projects could be going to so many other more useful things, such as, bridge maintenance and whatnot. But apparently we cannot do this for unknown reasons. I don't fully understand it. But we're going to get this innovation hall, and they used some of the money at one point to build a stupid bird thing sculpture over the highway that doesn't even look like a scissortail flycatcher, which it's supposed to be. And I'm really just tired of the waste of money to try. Like, some of the stuff has actually made the city look a little better, but some of the stuff just seems really useless, like that. I mean, sorry, but it doesn't look good. We don't like it. I don't know anyone. I've never met anyone who actually likes that sculpture thing. It's not really a sculpture. It's kind of is. It's metalworking. It was done by W&W Steel to be put up by the state. Like, the state commissioned it, I think. And it was. They built it directly off the design that they were given, so I don't blame the welders, but I do blame whoever designed the damn thing. So, instead of having. I mean, I'm not entirely opposed to the innovation hall. I mean, we've already got the innovation district. And this looks like it. I mean, it's more housing. It's going to be ritzier, but you know, some people living in some okay-ish apartments or whatever. That's a little too far for them to get to like their work or whatever. They want to be able to walk to work pretty easy on nicer days and whatnot, and they can get into public transport to get to them other days, and it's nice that way. And they can afford an apartment like that. They'll probably move there and open up some other apartments for people to move into, and like it can that can filter down, which can be better than the alternative of not. However, instead of dropping, hmm, instead of dropping potentially $28 million to help a fucking developer build this, what if we built houses for homeless people that would cost less and save us money and literally the same year? You just invest, you do it, houses get put up, you put homeless people in them, then they have a place to live, which gives them an address, running water to shower. You can, I mean, you can give them some food and stuff because they're gonna get on food stamps or whatever anyway, so you might as well give them food. And I mean, you can have them with a full house with furnishing and everything. We could take care of the entire homeless problem in this state, and it would cost less than this development, or about as much. Literally, you can build an apartment complex. Like, you do some. You have them in different areas, but you build like 12, or like two different 12-unit things that run. So you got 24 units. That's people off the streets and a house and able to start looking for work while we live in this fucking capitalist hellhole. The solutions are simple, but capitalism refuses to acknowledge them, like the internal contradictions, or they'll acknowledge it and just not do anything about it. One of the perfect examples is with climate change. They knew it was happening, and because they knew that they would lose money on the oil and shit, they just suppressed information. Instead of doing what a smarter person would do and start investing and learning how to make green energy stuff. Because if you did that, then, around 10 years later, and you actually start like letting people, you just kind of let people know, hey, yeah, this is an issue. And if you're the only one doing it and all your contemporaries in energy production are still sitting there going, no, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. But you're sitting there and you're cranking out green energy stuff. For one, the hippies and whatnot, they'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Well, you're doing something to save the environment. And then you'd be fucking sitting on bank around 2008, 2009. Like, it'd be over for any other person in that position. So, that's a thing. This one's going to be a little bit long because I'm going over multiple articles here. This one I really wanted to start off with, partly because it mentioned a TIFF. And so after reading this, I think that it's not the worst use of money, but it's definitely not the one that I would support more readily. I mean, there's like 4 other solutions that we could use for this. I mean, school funding. That's one. Just redirect that funding to school funding, because property is like ones where property taxes aren't really cutting it. You just put more money in those schools instead of the already wealthy schools, the ones with already enough funding. Like, seriously. Teacher pay increases, stuff like that. this is not the worst. It's not in my top 5, but it's better than literally just taking the money and handing it over to an oil company and going, here you go, just here you go. All right, next one. Actually, let's go with this one. As some Oklahoma churches push vaccines, others sow misinformation and doubt. Paul Blair says he doesn't have a chance on whether his congregation should receive he doesn't have a stance on whether his congregation should receive a COVID-19 vaccine. The 58-year-old cancer survivor is convinced he doesn't need the shot, and he tells members of Fairview Baptist Church that it's up to them to decide if they need it. But when Blair, a former Oklahoma State University and Chicago Bears offensive lineman and two-time unsuccessful Republican legislative candidate, stands in the pulpit on Sunday mornings, he leans into what he really thinks about the virus that has killed 14,000 Oklahomans and 750,000 Americans. On several occasions, Blair said Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, should be jailed or end up in hell. He has raised unfounded and disproven conspiracy theories, including one that the virus was man-made and Bill Gates and other billionaires are using the virus as a population control device. He has even suggested that the worldwide vaccine push is a precursor to the apocalyptic mark of the beast. Yep, of course. This is why I find religion to be a cancer, honestly. Like, organized religion, people can use it for whatever. If you want to be spiritual, you want to believe in a higher power or whatever, I can't thought police that shit, and I don't want to, and I've found people to have some sort of small comfort in it and still be good people, like really good people, without using the religion, their spirituality to shield themselves from criticism or, whatever. Because that's the shit I really hate, using it to try and gain dominion over another person, or using it as a shield for your terrible behaviors. So if I do something shitty, I just have to own it. Most of what we've seen in the past 2 years has been intended to scare us into sacrificing our freedom. No, it hasn't. And what we've been told is not true. It is, though. We know this virus was man-made. Well, you think you know it. And there's a critical difference here. Also, you're an idiot. And if they made this one, they can make the next one. They could, yeah, but honestly, we've had the capability to make some really serious bioweapons for quite some time. But see, we, scientists generally, like 99.9% of them, don't want to do that. They want to learn how to prevent them from getting to us. That's their job. It's to prevent those diseases from getting to us. So, you think you know things, but you're dumb as fuck. As concerns about the Omicron variant, it fueled and renewed push by health experts to encourage vaccinations or boosters. The role that religion and church leaders have upon vaccine acceptance has been put in the spotlight. Yeah, and most religious leaders tell you not to do it because most religious leaders are conservative, and conservatives are just inherently, we'll just say that the IQ of the average conservative leans in the direction of the blast freezer at my job. Numerous studies have found that white evangelical Protestants, more than any other religious or demographic group, have resisted the vaccine. Let me just highlight a keyword there. And in Oklahoma, home to one of the country's largest evangelical populations per capita and one of the nation's lowest vaccination rates, I'm vaccinated. Don't worry. Don't lump me in with these dumbasses. Please, I'm vaccinated. The issue is taking on increased relevance. Yep, especially as Omicron cases have dramatically spiked across the country. Yep. Only 52.8% of Oklahoma's population has been fully vaccinated, according to the Mayo Clinic. That's the 13th lowest rate in the country and far below the state's goal of reaching at least 70% of the population protected. In a country and state already divided over the politics of the vaccine and who should be required to receive it, faith-based groups are also split. Yep. And then it's going to go on about, yep, they take a different group. So let's skim over the rest of this real quick, and we're going to give some thoughts. Public Religion Research Institute. Is it still? Yep. Meanwhile, a greater share of white Catholics or more religiously unaffiliated Americans, an increasingly common group referred to as the nuns, since they don't prescribe to any specific religious belief. Yeah, because they're more in favor of getting vaccinated. If the Pope says to go get vaccinated, then Catholics will go get vaccinated. All right. Heidi A. Campbell, professor. Republican Party. Yep. Hesitancy among evangelicals can be intertwined with politics, specifically the Republican Party. Yep, that's because most evangelical, like, it's conservatives and religion kind of a lot of the time in this state, in my experience, like, it's just hand in hand stuff, and it's a little ridiculous. I can't stand it. I hate hearing about it pretty much all the time. Luckily, my friend group doesn't talk about it a whole lot, and they don't really. I mean, it depends. Sometimes we talk about conservatism because they're dumb, and we like to laugh at the dumb things they say. But we don't really talk about religion for good reason. Like, I know some religious people that are, you know, they're not super pushy, they're not judgy. They just go do their church thing. Cool. And I don't want them to get all upset. One of the key narratives within evangelicals is that they are not of this world and are in this kind of war or battle. It's about authority, it's about control, it's about loss of power. Yeah, of course it is. Guts doesn't require a dress code, features lively music processions, and was among the first churches that invited Governor Stitt to speak after he took office. Ugh. They just don't talk about it. It's a virus, but there's no way mankind should be gripped with the fear it grips us with. Is God the healer? No. Is God the provider? No. No. No, obviously not. All we need is the presence of God, huh? That's why there's 750,000 Americans dead. Tulsa victory. That's the American airline. Okay, that's not too bad. No. Oh my god. Every time. Every fucking time. We don't need a vaccine. We have the love of God. That's why religious people die at a higher fucking rate than people who are non-religious when it comes to this fucking pandemic. They just do. Because they don't go get vaccinated and they don't think about it and they always gather in large groups and sneeze in each other's fucking faces and smell each other's goddamn farts all day. And one of them dies and they're like, how could this have happened? And then they gather for a funeral and then next thing you know, they all die. 14,000 people in this state alone died, and like I'm pretty sure 90% of them were old white fucking churchgoers. I swear. Alright, this is a very long article. Holy shit. Several local churches pushed the vaccine. Okay, so Reverend Shannon Fleck. This is moral societies. I remember that you. No, I don't. Several local churches have pushed the vaccine, particularly in predominantly black and Hispanic communities that have historically not been as trusting of vaccines. It's because they know that they don't want to fucking die from this stupid ass disease. If white people are going, no, I don't want to take this disease thing because of fucking Trump, blah, blah, blah. No. They're like, no, I'm not in with that. No. 74% plan on getting the vaccine from black Protestants. More power to you. Get to it. We can get through this. I believe in you. We're in this together. By whose authority? I don't give a shit. Okay. Republican politicians, but yeah, of course they do. All they do is spread misinformation. Okay, so I don't need to finish that. It's a lot of article with not much more needed. I was on the wrong screen the entire time. Oh my god. Well, I closed it. But you can see it right here. Okay. It's right here. I shouldn't have closed it because I'm going to use it. I'm going to see if I can reopen the other closed tab. And backspace that. Yeah. Cool. So that'll be that. Scuffed fucking person. I will upload this and put sources in it. Take care.